Back home for a World Series level homestand. For the first time in their history, the D-backs will host both World Series teams from last year in consecutive series. The Astros are in here Friday, but first we open up a 4-game set against the Dodgers. Round 1 tonight, D-backs Dodgers on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly along the way. The D-backs at 19-8, holding the National League's best record. And for the third time this month, they'll host a series or open up a series against the LA Dodgers. Zach Greinke's already beaten the Dodgers once this year, and Bobby gets the baseball tonight to start this 4-game set.
Yeah, you look at the numbers for Zach Greinke this season, they're a little deceiving. In his 5 starts, his record is an even 2-2, the ERA at 4.80, but in his 30 innings of work, he's given up 6 home runs. That's what's really hurt him this year. The strikeout to walk ratio is tremendous.
Dodgers starter Rich Hill was scratched. He's got an infected finger. It'll be Ross Stripling instead. The Dodgers just crushed by injuries. No Yasiel Puig, no Justin Turner, no Logan Forsythe, and now they lose Corey Seager, not for the series, but the season.
Boy, that is a real crippling blow to the Dodgers. In 48 career games against the Diamondbacks, Seager was a .303 hitter with an OPS of .893. That's including this year's .214 average.
He's got a bad ligament in his throwing elbow. He needs Tommy John surgery. So Zach Greinke gets the baseball. Game 1 of 4, the D-backs and the Dodgers on Fox Sports Arizona.
D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By Buick, visit your local Buick dealer. By Gila River Hotels and Casinos. The card by Gila River Casinos earns you rewards 10 times faster than ever before. Sign up for the card today. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you'll get more standard features for less money. air conditioning and plumbing, choose Chaz. By GMC, visit your local GMC dealer. By Arizona Tire Pros, everything rotates around you. By your Desert Ford dealer, visit your Desert Ford dealers and click buyfordnow.com to learn more. And by Jack in the Box. This season, D-backs home runs score free Jumbo Jacks only at Jack in the Box. D-backs 5-1 versus LA this year. Dodgers in for 4 beginning tonight. Zack Greinke on the mound. First pitch is next on Fox Sports Arizona. The roof open at Chase Field. Very comfortable, 81 degrees. Welcome in, Steve Berthiaume, Bob Renly, Kate Longworth with you. Dave Roberts, Dodgers reeling 3 under 500 off to a 12-15 start, and they are really beat up right now. Here's their lineup. It's brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Yeah, they're going to sell some programs at Dodger Stadium over the next few weeks. Chris Taylor will lead it off. He's playing shortstop tonight. Chase Utley will be at second base. Yasmani Grandal doing the catching. Cody Bellinger down at first base. Jock Peterson in left field. Alex Verdugo in right. Kike Hernandez in center field. Max Muncy at third base. And Ross Stripling taking the emergency start here for the Dodgers tonight.
And we'll run through LA's litany of injuries over the course of the ball game. Your Ram truck starter for the D-backs is the right-hander Zack Greinke. He was the losing pitcher in Philadelphia last Wednesday night, but he beat the Dodgers in LA earlier this month.
Yeah, real good against the Dodgers earlier this month. 6 1/3, gave up only 5 hits in that game. Dodgers did score 4 runs against him, but as usual, he only walked 1 opposing batter against the Dodgers in that game.
For a look around the diamond at the D-backs defense, that's presented by E.D. Marshall Jewelers.
Yeah, with a righty on the mound, Gerard Dyson gets the start in right field. A.J. Pollock in center. David Peralta over in left field. It'll be Daniel Descalso and Nick Ahmed on the left side of the infield, with Chris Owings and Paul Goldschmidt manning the right side. As usual, Jeff Mathis behind the plate for right-hander Zack Greinke.
The crew chief is back there for the umpires. Jerry Lane calling the balls and strikes tonight. Greg Gibson is our first base umpire. Vic Carapazza at second, and Jordan Baker's at third. Chris Taylor leads it off for the Dodgers, the first of 4. The D-backs and Dodgers from downtown Phoenix. Taylor hitting .233 with 4 home runs. That includes a leadoff homer against Zack Greinke earlier this month. And if you're just joining us, Taylor is the shortstop tonight.
The Dodgers announcing this afternoon Corey Seager has a sprained UCL in his right elbow. That's his throwing elbow. He will miss the rest of the season with Tommy John surgery.
Well, you just kind of had the feeling there was something wrong with Corey Seager. He just didn't take the same pass at the ball that we've seen him in the past. Some of the throws he made from shortstop didn't look real good. Well, now we know why.
Yeah, the elbow problem has nagged Seager ever since about midway through last season. In fact, they thought about surgery this winter, decided no, but the problem has lingered, and now they've discovered a sprained UCL. This is hit on a button to Dyson in right field, backing up. It's windy out here today. One away. Time now, Bob, for your Valley Honda dealers key to the game.
Well, you mentioned Seager going on the DL for Tommy John surgery. A number of other Dodgers on the DL. Kick them while they're down. I know the fans would be all in for that.
You and Don Henley. Dodgers have already spotted the D-backs 7 games in the early NL West standings. And they are on their longest road trip of the year right now. Just lost 3 of 4 in San Francisco over the weekend. Nationwide Vision Center's eye on the game. Daniel Descalso, the third baseman, moves over by second base ump Vic Carapazza. The shift is on for Chase Utley. Utley 298 with a home run. Utley at second base tonight. They are really injured right now, LA. No Justin Turner. He's been out all year. Hit on the hand by a pitch in spring training. No Logan Forsythe either. Forsythe has a sore throwing shoulder. Turner, though, did hit baseballs off a tee over the weekend, and they're really hopeful, fingers crossed, that he might be able to play in some rehab games at the end of this week. But there are a lot of key players out, including tonight's starter Rich Hill.
Yeah, Rich Hill, consistent blister problems on that left hand, and one of the blisters turned into an infection, which kept him from pitching tonight.
And so Ross Stripling has stepped in to take the start. 2-2 on Utley. Yeah, Puig just went on the DL Sunday with a left hip pointer and a bruised foot. He was hurt over the weekend. There's Rich Hill, who's had blister problems the last several years. Jeff Mathis behind the plate tonight for Zach Greinke. That is right there. Utley looks at strike 3.
It'd be interesting to see if Zach changes his approach against this Dodgers offense tonight. We've talked about it in the past. They're one of the teams that seems to know how to approach Zach. They don't swing at the borderline pitches, so maybe he will attack the strike zone a little bit more tonight.
Usually very patient against him. The catcher Yasmani Grandal, 291, 4 homers, leading the Dodgers with 19 runs batted in. There's a strike 0-1. Grandal has a pair of homers in his career against Zach Greinke. Roof is open here. The outfield panels are closed. It was pretty windy in the valley here today, but the wind that comes in through the roof does, when the panels are closed, kind of swirl around a little bit.
And we saw that on the first fly ball that Chris Taylor hit out there to Gerard Dyson. Really carried a lot farther than he expected.
That one hit Grandal. A fastball up and in.
Well, he's definitely trying to go in. He shook off Jeff Mathis to get to a fastball in to Yasmani Grandal. You see where he sets up, and I don't know.
That may have hit the bat handle or the knob. Jerry Nairn, the bench coach, on the phone with Alan Campbell, the video coordinator.
Well, that's a really tough one to see whether that ball caught any part of that bottom hand. Zach Greinke foul ball right away. He's calling for it.
No challenge from the dugout. They must not have a definitive look at it. So Bellinger will hit.
I think he would have got a bigger reaction out of Grandal if he got hit in the hand.
One would think a 90-mile-an-hour fastball right on a finger or something would hurt a little bit. Bellinger, 291. He's got 3 homers. One of those home runs coming off Zach Greinke earlier this month at Dodger Stadium.
The thing about Greinke, and I touched on it in the open of the show, you look back over his pitching charts, his starts this season, his 5 starts, and for the most part he's done what he's always done. But when he's made a mistake, it's been hit out of the ballpark. 6 home runs already in 5 starts.
He's pitched extremely well, but every start there's, well, if you got rid of that pitch and that pitch, this wouldn't have happened, and he would have had terrific numbers. There's that slow curveball, 1-2.
I think that's a pitch you have to be very careful with Cody Bellinger. Make sure you keep it out there on that outside corner or farther away. He's got that big long swing, and he can lengthen it when he recognizes an off-speed pitch.
Called strike 3. Jerry Lane rings him up on a fastball off the plate. D-backs coming up. For Los Angeles tonight, it's the right-hander Ross Stripling. 10 appearances this year, but all coming out of the bullpen. He's taking this start in place of Rich Hill, who, as we mentioned, is out with that infected finger.
Yeah, fantastic numbers in his 10 games this season out of the bullpen. Keep in mind, he hasn't thrown more than 37 pitches in any one game this season.
D-backs lineup is presented by your Valley Chevy dealers.
David Peralta leading it off in left field. Gerard Dyson will be out in right field. Paul Goldschmidt at first base. A.J. Pollock in center field. Daniel Descalso gets to start at third base tonight with Chris Owings at second. Nick Ahmed at short. Jeff Mathis doing the catching for right-hander Zach Greinke.
Peralta leads it off at 309 with 5 home runs. Boy, that last pitch that Jerry Lane called a strike on Cody Bellinger. Wow.
If Zach gets that all night, it's going to be a tough road to hoe for the Dodgers.
He will definitely throw a no-hitter. That was well off the plate. That one's right at the knees for a strike. It's 1-1.
You'll notice Stripling, because he has pitched out of the bullpen all season up to this point, pitches out of the stretch all the time. Throws a lot of sliders. Almost an even split between his slider and his fastball. Also will mix in a curve and a straight changeup.
Ross Stripling made a pair of spot starts for the Dodgers last year while he was working out of the bullpen, but always with a very controlled pitch count. 3 innings in a start against Milwaukee last August, and then 2 innings at Colorado at the tail end of last year. Hit hard right to Utley at second base.
E.D. Marshall Jewelers has a look around the diamond at the LA defense.
Kike Hernandez checking his cheat sheet out there in center field. He'll be flanked by Alex Verdugo in right, Jock Peterson in left field, Max Muncy at third base, Chris Taylor at short, Chase Utley at second base with Cody Bellinger at first, Yasmani Grandal behind the plate for the right-hander Ross Stripling.
Gerard Dyson in right field, 174 and 2 home runs. Trying to bunt his way on. Stripling has it. Underhand toss. 2 down.
Gerard Dyson's just having some problems finding that happy zone over there on the right side of the infield. On a couple occasions he kept it too close to the catcher. Other occasions too close to the pitcher. Eventually he'll find that comfort zone and start bunting for base hits.
So 2 outs on 5 pitches for Stripling. Here's Paul Goldschmidt, 274 and 4 home runs. Fastball right there at 93. It's 0-1. Goldie's 6 hits on the last road trip, including a couple of doubles. And very good career numbers against Ross Stripling. 5 for 12. He's homered against him. Along the right field line, Verdugo drifting toward foul ground, and he's got it. Good start for Ross Stripling. No score, the D-backs and the Dodgers.
No doubt Zach coming up with a very unique game plan going up against his former team, but he also was lending some advice to his current teammates this afternoon. Robbie Ray was diagnosed with a grade 2 oblique strain. Greinke suffered a similar injury back in 2016 and was out for 6 weeks. And Zach told Robbie, this is a type of injury you just don't want to rush things. You want to come back when you're 100%, and you really have to be careful with the oblique because you can feel it with any slight movement, from coughing to laughing, let alone if you're just trying to get around. However, Robbie did tell me this news that it's just a strain is good news. He said he feared the worst for how much pain he was in yesterday, but today he's feeling a little bit better. However, guys, right now, no timetable set for his return.
All right, Kate, thanks. Here's Jock Peterson. Yeah, a power pitcher like Robbie Ray. He needs to be healthy, Bob, and that oblique, especially for pitchers, always seems to be tricky.
Yeah, and it's always helpful in a bad kind of way to have teammates that have gone through it before, so they can give you some heads up, maybe what you want to do in your rehab process, when to take it easy, when to push a little harder. And unfortunately, we've got some guys that have been through it before.
Well, Zach Greinke's getting all these borderline calls and then some from Jerry Lane. 1-2 on Jock Peterson, who's in left field tonight. Matt Kemp has been in and out of their lineup lately with some left quadriceps tightness. And a nice look from our director Brian Moss at that Greinke curveball. He gets Peterson for his third strikeout.
A lot of downward movement there. Yeah, Zach mixing in some curveballs early. That's a pitch that generally he saves until the second or third time through an opposing order before he breaks it out.
Alex Verdugo, the Tucson native, just recalled from AAA Oklahoma City over the weekend. And off to a good start. He's played one game. He was 2 for 3. And he has brought out the bling. He's quite a sharp dresser. He's got those white shoes, bright blue socks, bright red batting gloves, and a lot of jewelry. Said he bought the gold necklaces for himself as a gift. There's a diamond encrusted number 61 in there somewhere.
They used to call that the Mr. T starter kit.
Pity the fool. Well, he said he's got enough money in his account where he was able to drop some money on a chain and feel comfortable with it. Something he's wanted ever since he got up to the big leagues last September. Only 21 years old, Alex Verdugo. He'll be 22 next month. And he figures to see a lot of time in Puig's place while Puig is on the DL. Crashed into an outfield wall in San Francisco Saturday and then fouled the ball off his foot.
Well, kind of a odd setup for Verdugo in that left-handed batter's box. Very slowly brings that right foot back to square before driving into the pitch. Very much under control. You see a lot of guys that have a lot of movement and they have to start early and their timing gets thrown off. Watch how slowly he gets into the hitting position.
Just got a piece of that one. Another curveball from Greinke. Yeah, that is he's very fashion forward. And in no hurry.
Well, some of the wardrobe choices for Mr. Verdugo tonight probably were not available at the AAA level. You get to the big leagues, you want an elbow guard with it's red with stripes on it, we'll get you one. You want an ankle guard that's blue with your name on it, we can do that.
They came through. Look out. Right back up the box. Ahmed behind the bag. That one almost got Greinke. 2 outs in the second.
Now, Zach reacted as if he were frustrated he didn't make the play on that ball, but he apparently didn't realize Nick was cheating up the middle of the field right to it.
Here's Kike Hernandez, the center fielder who's been really sick most of last week and the weekend with a flu bug. 254 and 3 home runs. But the way this Dodger team is going right now, if you have a bad case of the flu, you're healthy. First pitch swing and hits a tapper to Ahmed at shortstop. 4 in a row set down by Greinke. 1-2-3 second. No score. The D-backs and the Dodgers.
Now it's time for Lowe's whole team together. The D-backs against LA this year, pretty good.
Averaging 6 runs a game. Team ERA just under 3.5. That'll work.
Ross Stripling filling in for the injured Rich Hill, who's got an infected finger, coming off a 1-2-3 first, and now AJ leads off the second. First pitch is in the seats and out of play. AJ 276 and tops on the D-backs in home runs, RBIs, and OPS. OPS, on base percentage, plus slugging percentage. Torey Lovullo's ball club coming in with the best record in the National League, 19-8. And already 5-1 versus LA this year, as we just saw. AJ down 0-2. A starting role, while something Ross Stripling hasn't seen much of lately, is hardly unfamiliar ground for him. He made 14 starts with LA during his rookie season 2 years ago. Over 50 starts in their minor league system. AJ hammers this one. Can it stay fair? Noonan.
Sure sounded like a homer.
Throw that one again.
Woo.
He looks angelic in that photo, doesn't he?
He does. 105 miles an hour off the bat that time. Just hooked foul. And try to come back in. Way in.
He got on that one. It's gone. Number 7, 1-0 D-backs.
Come in there on the pitch before, and AJ pulled it foul. They go right back in there again. This time he pulls his hands in a little bit closer to his body and is able to keep it fair out into the bullpen in left field.
What a year he's having, Steven Souza Jr. That's a jumbo jack. Free jumbo jack tomorrow. A jack in the box with a purchase of a large drink. AJ Pollock, his 7th home run, RBI number 22. And Descalso's in there. Daniel's got 7 RBIs in his last 7 games. Another start at third base for the injured Jake Lamb. He shoots this one the other way. Peterson in left, and it's over his head. Daniel Descalso, his 4th double. Good start to the D-backs' second inning. That is the snakehead. That's the new drive the bus this year.
Yeah. That's nice hitting. That pitch is on the outside corner, maybe a little bit off of the outside corner, and Daniel barrels it up to left field.
We were just talking about how we've seen him do that so often lately, taking a pitch on the outer half and just knocking it out to left or left center.
Such a great approach, but still quick enough to get the pitches inside.
So a homer and a double started off. Here's Chris Owings. 246 and a home run. There's a slider up. Chris getting the start at second base against a right-hander tonight, something that's a little unusual for Torey Lovullo, but Ketel Marte is getting a night off.
I saw Torey having a long conversation with Ketel during batting practice. It was very cordial, lots of smiles, lots of laughs. It ended with a big hug, but I think he just wants to give Ketel a little bit of time to get his head together, put him back in there, and let him do what he was doing earlier in the season. He's kind of grinding a little bit right now.
Ketel had a couple of hits yesterday against the Nationals, but it's a lot of 1-for-5s, 0-for-4s.
1-1 on Chris Owings. On the ground, right to Taylor at shortstop. And advanced to Scalzo, 1 down. Well, lately A.J. Pollock has been the big bat in this lineup, but right behind him it's been Nick Ahmed, who's hitting .241 with 4 home runs. Nick had 3 hits yesterday at Washington, 2 big hits late in the game Saturday when they beat the Nationals.
Yeah, it's not how many hits you get, it's when you get them, and this year Nick's been getting him with runners in scoring position. He's been a money hitter with guys on base.
He's got Descalso at second, 1 out and 1 run in. Sliders foul back, and it's 0-1. Nick has hit safely in 4 straight games and 5 of 6, including a couple of home runs over that span. Runners in scoring position for Nick, as Bob mentioned. How about that? Ooh. Almost .470 with 3 home runs. Well, Nick is a relentless worker, and he's really worked hard to create an approach at the plate that'll help him drive the ball to the middle of the field and cover multiple parts of the strike zone and multiple speeds without having to cheat or kind of chase pitches, change his swing like we've seen him do before. Looks at a fastball right at the knees. It's 1-2. Jeff Mathis on deck.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if some of these scouting reports and the defensive positioning of some of the opposing teams will change over the course of the summer. This is not the same Nick Ahmed that teams faced in the past.
Not even close.
They're shading him around a little bit to the opposite field. Hernandez out there in center, a few steps over toward right center, and Jock Peterson well off the line in left, giving him a lot of room down the line and in the gap in left center.
Yeah, we've seen Nick pull the ball maybe this first month, certainly more than we have in quite a while. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It almost looked like he hit that on a bounce. And Daniel Descalso wasn't sure if it was a foul ball or whether it was a swing and a miss, so he was going to advance on to third base and then have somebody send him back.
Could hear Jerry Lane screaming foul ball. Shoots it the other way. That's a fair ball. Here comes Descalso. Here's the throw. It's way offline. Ahmed into second, and it's 2-0 Diamondbacks.
Well, that's the Nick we've seen most of the spring. Look to drive the ball early in the count, and with 2 strikes, just hit what you see. And that time, a little breaking ball up and out over the plate. He just gooses it into right field. Alex Verdugo showcases that strong throwing arm, nearly throwing it up the backstop.
A chance for Jeff Mathis.
I mean, good base running by Nick. He saw the arc of that throw from right field and realized that nobody was going to be able to cut it off, and easily moves himself into scoring position for Jeff Mathis.
Verdugo trying to throw off a Yasiel Puig type arm, or show it off. Didn't really work out all that well.
It was very Puig-like.
It certainly was. Missed the plate by about 20 feet. Mathis walked in starting Friday's game behind the plate at Nats Park. He singled in his start at Philadelphia on the last road trip. Jerry Lane's in no hurry to call a pitch a strike when it's in there.
I was just thinking that, and as I always point out, he makes a verbal call immediately, so the hitter and the catcher right away know whether it's a ball or a strike, but it takes him a little while to get that right arm up in the air.
Just let the rest of us know and we can move on. Slider missed down and away. Mathis doesn't chase. It's 2-2. Greinke on deck. Fastball up, full count. Well, you know that Ross Stripling wants to be as efficient as he possibly can. As Bob mentioned earlier, the most pitches he's thrown in a game this year has been 37. That was a relief appearance April 10th against the Oakland A's. He hasn't worked more than 3 innings in a game since the 2016 season. This is lifted out to Verdugo in right field. Ahmed at second, heads for third. Here's the throw. Boy, he can throw, that's for sure, but Nick sneaks in there.
He's got a big arm. Unfortunately for the Dodgers, he's been off target on both of his throws so far in this game. Nick moves up to third. And now Zach Greinke needs to do a little something here with 2 outs in the inning to cash in 1 more run.
Greinke 0 for 8 on the year. Fastball's in there, 0-1. Base hit. RBI single for Greinke, and it's 3-0 D-backs.
A little something for Greinke. Got a fastball inside, just rips it to the left side of the infield. No chance down there for Max Muncy as that one rolls through for an RBI base hit.
A 3-run second brings up David Peralta, who grounded out his first time up.
You know, partner, it's not uncommon for a catcher to give a low target to his pitcher out there on the mound unless he wants to elevate a pitch. But Yasmani Grandal, every target he's given has been below the bottom of the strike zone. I don't know if that's something Stripling requests from his catcher.
Yeah, that's
how
down
low
there.
that target is.
Worked out that time. A changeup, and it's 1-1.
Grandal got conked on the head that time with David's backswing.
You can see David's had a pretty good run against Ross Stripling before. 5 for 12. That includes 4 doubles.
One thing Stripling has in common with Zach Greinke, he likes to throw that hard changeup. That last one at 85 miles an hour, he'll throw it up to 87 as an off-speed pitch, much like Zach Greinke does.
I'm sure David is anxious to take some cuts here today after an 0 for 4 with 4 punch-outs yesterday in Washington. Just wasn't seeing Gio Gonzalez very well. Yes, he went, says Jordan Baker down at third. And Peralta strikes out, but the D-backs take a 3-0 lead. A.J. Pollock got it started. His 7th of the year. We head to the third. D-backs lead the Dodgers 3-0.
You know, he's been awesome around me. He's just never there, you know. He's always somewhere else. He's either in the video room, eating, training room. He's just always busy. I think his nickname is the Ghost. I think guys were trying to get him to put that on his player weekend jersey, but he wouldn't do it.
They call Zach Greinke the Ghost because you look behind you, no one's there, and then all of a sudden, bang, he's right there on your shoulder. He's hard to keep track of, but boy, he's looked good so far. Yet to give up a base hit. He's got 3 strikeouts. He's retired 4 in a row. And Max Muncy, the third baseman, leads it off for LA. D-backs have the shift on. Muncy 10 games this year, 5 for 25 with a home run. And at third tonight, Justin Turner is yet to play a game this year. One of the many injured key Dodgers. Nationwide Vision Center's eye on the game. Nick Ahmed, the only defender on the left side of the infield. Mentioned that Turner did take swings off a batting tee for the first time Friday over at Camelback Ranch in Glendale. They're going to try some live batting practice. Dave Roberts said if the Dodgers can get Turner sometime this week on a rehab assignment, that would be great, but they're not rushing it. That injury has lingered. And Logan Forsythe was making that long throw from third base and developed shoulder trouble, so he's on the DL now after moving over from second base. And they brought up Max Muncy. Into the shift. Goldie's got it. Greinke covers. 5 in a row set down by Zach.
And you mentioned the injury of Yasiel Puig. He's another victim of the foul ground at AT&T Park in San Francisco. We saw Mac Williamson go on the DL after he hit the mounds and crashed into the side wall. Puig chased down a foul ball in right field and crashed into the wall out there. Ended up with a bad hip and a bad foot.
Crashed into the wall, and then in his next at bat fouled that pitch off his foot. It was just a bad day for him, and now he's on the DL. Here's the pitcher Stripling. Well, Dave Roberts was saying, look, they've just got to play better baseball. It's really tough what they've gone through with injuries, but as they talked about in the pregame show, Jody and Gracie, Dave Roberts was adamant over the weekend. Look, when it's all said and done, the Dodgers will be at the top of the division.
That was a quote from the manager. But missing so many key players, and already having spotted the D-backs 7 games in the standings, they have their work cut out for them. 7-game deficit in the National League West is the furthest LA has been out of first place at this point in any season since 1967. And Greinke gets his 4th strikeout. The Beat LA signs are out in force.
A couple of those even found their way up here to the booth.
Your staff was down there collecting some. Yes, I noticed that. Well, we like to be prepared too.
Sure.
Here's Taylor, who flied out to lead off the ball game.
Zach's faced 9 hitters in the game so far. 7 0-2 or 1-2 counts.
No base hits the first time through the order. 4 strikeouts. The only base runner was Grandal, who was hit on the knob of the bat and awarded first base. Fastball is right there, 0-1. Looks like Zach is taking advantage, Bob, of the Dodgers' usual patience against him and throwing some early strikes.
I think that's a wise plan of attack. You know, you have to make adjustments. This is one opposing team that has apparently made an adjustment to Zach Greinke's style. They lay off those borderline pitches. They try to lay off that changeup down. So to combat that, you change your program. Be a little more aggressive. Pound that strike zone. Throw a few more fastballs.
Along the right field line, Goldie on the run, giving it a look, but it's out of play. Zach has admitted before that the Dodgers give him trouble because they don't fish at those pitches right off the plate that he usually gets other teams to swing at. And so he's always had to work harder when he's facing these guys. But the first time through the order tonight, we've seen some early pitches for strikes and then a lot of curveballs. 1-2 on the Dodgers shortstop, Chris Taylor. Trying to crowd him in with a fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Chase Utley would be next. Taylor homered Saturday at San Francisco. He's got 5 hits in his last 3 games. And he goes around on that one. 5 strikeouts for Greinke. He's got a 3-0 lead. Chase Field is the place to be all weekend, this weekend especially, as the D-backs take on the Houston Astros. And the first 20,000 fans in attendance this Saturday get the State 48 Sugar Skull t-shirt
Get your tickets at dbacks.com. What a homestand, the first time in D-backs history, as Gerard Dyson leads off the third, that they've played the reigning league champions in back-to-back series. The two teams from the World Series last year in here all week, so come on down, dbacks.com/tickets.
Well, for all the reasons we've been talking about, all the injuries to the Dodgers lineup, this is a good time to catch the defending National League champs. We talked about
better, yeah.
All throughout that road trip. Take your breaks where you get them.
And not only now this week, but all month really, while they've been without Turner and some other guys. It's already the third meeting this year between these two teams. And it's not even May.
And Diamondbacks go to LA for a quick 2-game series next week, and then they don't see him again till the end of August, 1st of September.
One and two on the D-backs right fielder. Yeah, the D-backs 5-1 versus LA this year. They swept the Dodgers here at Chase Field earlier this month. Took 2 of 3 at Dodger Stadium the following weekend. Goldie will be next. Torey Lovullo's ball club has won 6 straight regular season games against the Dodgers here at Chase Field, and 5 consecutive regular season series against LA overall. The tide is turning.
That's good. We like that.
Clayton Kershaw. Well, he walked 6 guys in his last start. He'll be on the mound here tomorrow night against Matt Cook. What's wrong with Kershaw? Add that to the list of Dodger problems or concerns.
Kenley Jansen hasn't been the Kenley Jansen we're used to seeing.
Stripling at 40 pitches now. That's the most he's thrown all year. This is popped up foul ground third base side. Muncy has a look near the dugout, and they retire Dyson.
Well, this is officially the longest outing for Ross Stripling this year. He had gone 2 innings 3 different times, but 1 out here in the third. He's in uncharted territory this season.
Goldie flied out to right his first time. Ross Stripling, a Dodgers 5th round pick. He's a Texas A&M Aggie. You may recall his major league debut. That was April of 2016 at San Francisco when he took a no-hitter into the 8th inning in his first big league game. But coming off Tommy John surgery 2 years earlier, and at 100 pitches, he was removed with a no-hitter intact after 7 1/3. Giants came back to win the game, and Stripling wound up with a no decision despite not giving up a base hit. Bounced over the mound. Utley is there. He can't pick it up, and Goldie's aboard. Infield single for Goldie. A.J. Pollock now. This is what A.J. did to lead off the second.
Exit velocity 96 miles per hour. Hit it in a good part of the ballpark.
After having just fouled off almost that same pitch, same location on the previous pitch, he was able to keep that one fair. His 7th of the year. Got a slider on the first pitch, 0-1.
Yeah, look how similar these two pitches are. Almost exactly the same location when A.J. makes contact with him. One just foul, the second one out of here.
Well, A.J. has been another convert to changing his approach up there, trying to keep that bat in the hitting zone a little longer. And I would say so far on April 30th with 7 home runs, it's working out nicely. It's a tapper to second, though. Utley, shovel pass for Taylor, and they'll settle for 1. That'll bring up Descalso, who doubled and scored his first time up.
We talked about all the reasons why the D-backs have the best record in the National League, 19-8, 5 games clear of Colorado. This guy's one big reason why for me. The more you watch him every day, the more you appreciate all the little things that he does. AJ takes off. Grandal's throw. Got him. Taylor able to apply the tag. Big Carapazza down there. Torey Lobello saying, hold on, let's have a look. Wow. Might have got him on the inside of the leg after he missed the initial tag. No challenge from the D-backs. So we're through 3. It's 3-0 Diamondbacks.
Top of the 4th at Chase Field. Diamondbacks lead the Dodgers 3-0. Time to take a look at this day in baseball history. Brought to you by Geico, one of our all-time favorite players. Billy Williams on this day in 1970 becomes the first National League player to play in 1,000 consecutive games. It started in 1962.
One of the all-time great Chicago Cubs.
Well, one of the all-time great guys, too.
Chase Utley leads off the Dodger 4th. Shift is on for the D-backs. That fastball off the plate is strike 1, says Jerry Lane. Utley struck out looking his first time up. Five strikeouts so far for Greinke. He has yet to give up a base hit. That fastball is right there, and it's 0-2. Jerry Lane's been giving Greinke the pitches right on the borders of the strike zone and a few a little further away. Like that one. So Utley hits it away from the shift. 8 in a row set down by Zach Greinke. Here's Yasmani Grandal. Grandal's been their only base runner. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning, although it appeared that the pitch hit the knob of the bat and not his hand.
It either hit the knob of the bat or Yasmani Grandal is immune to pain.
Well, he is a catcher. There's another first pitch curveball from Greinke. Grandal, a switch hitter. All 4 of his home runs this year have come as a left-hand batter. He drives this one toward the pool in right center, and that's going to reach the wall. Yasmani Grandal, that's double number 8 on the year, the first hit for Los Angeles.
And not a bad pitch, a slider out there near the outside corner of the plate, but Grandal reaches out and hooks it back to the gap in right center. But you have to well place a hit to right center to get it between AJ and Dyson.
That's true. Both of those guys can run. Speaking of running or not running, here's Cody Bellinger. There was an issue over the weekend in San Francisco with Bellinger and his manager Dave Roberts. Got yanked out of a ball game midway through. Bellinger yesterday got pulled in the 5th inning after he pulled up at second base on this one, hit deep into Triples Alley in San Francisco, and Roberts felt that there was a lack of hustle coming out of the box, and so Bellinger got yanked. Your thoughts?
Well, he did stumble a little bit coming out of the batter's box, but then he carried his bat 3/4 of the way down to first base and didn't really start running until he got to the bag at first, and then broke it down halfway to second. So I can see Dave Roberts' point, especially with a struggling ball club. You don't want any of your guys not to play hard. Well, I think, you know, when you single out one of your best players on the team, I think that sends a message to the entire roster. Hey, I expect more out of you guys.
Roberts told reporters afterward there are certain expectations in the way his club has to play the game, and when you don't abide by that, they'll get somebody in there who will. And he just felt there wasn't enough hustle on the play. 1-2. The interesting thing was Bellinger's response. He told the press that he didn't think anyone can tell him how to play. He's always played hard. Feels like he's always hustling on ground balls, and it didn't make any sense to him. So in addition to all these injuries, there was a little bit of drama in the Dodger clubhouse yesterday.
And there may be some method to Dave Roberts' madness. Maybe he knows which buttons to push for Cody Bellinger. Maybe that's what it takes to get his superstar first baseman jump started.
He struck out looking to end the first, his first time up. Right to Goldie. Greinke gets there. And Grandal's in at third with 2 outs. They've tried sending similar messages to Jock Peterson over the years, benching him, then sending him down to the minor leagues. And he's never quite been the same player the last year or so he was when he first came up, it seems. There's always something a little off. In there in left field tonight. He struck out to lead off the second. Grandal's at third and 2 down. Good chance with Matt Kemp suffering some left quadriceps tightness, and Peterson's left-hand bat to sit Kemp tonight and get Peterson in there against the righty Greinke. He's either talking to himself or Jerry Lane. Oh, see, Greinke's been getting that call all night long, and that's well off the plate. That's just not a strike. And now some of these guys are starting to bark back.
Well, some of the credit for those calls has to go to Jeff Mathis. You know, he sets up out there and, as always, tries to receive the ball with his glove moving back toward the plate to make it appear that it's closer to the strike zone than it really is.
His pitch framing numbers are going to go through the roof at this rate.
Yeah, tonight.
Nice block there to keep Grandal at third.
We almost take it for granted. All the Diamondbacks catchers do such a great job blocking pitches in the dirt. That gives their pitcher the confidence to execute that pitch with a runner at third base. Yeah, if you're a pitcher out there on the mound and the catcher calls for a changeup down and it gets between his legs to the backstop and that run scores, well, the next time you call for that pitch.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh.
And there's an equipment violation. That's twice Jock Peterson was called for strikes on a pitch way out of the zone. It's 3-0 D-backs.
Well, Jerry Lane from the first pitch of the ball game has been giving Zach Greinke virtually everything. Look at this sequence in the Jock Peterson at bat.
Yeah, fastball away, fastball away, fastball away. Throws a changeup in the dirt trying to get Peterson to chase, but he doesn't have to. Just throw another fastball about 6 inches off the outside corner.
He just struck out Jock Peterson without throwing a strike.
That's good pitching.
0 strikes thrown. And Peterson did not swing at a single one because you know why? They weren't strikes. So the Dodgers have a case over there. We'll check their temperature throughout the course of the ball game. If it continues like this, it could get ugly.
Now there's a guy that's used to getting some room off the corners as well.
Daniel Descalso was at the plate when A.J. Pollock was thrown out trying to steal to end the third. You can't get upset about borderline pitches just off the zone. That's fine, but those are not close. Like that. That pitch is not a strike, but it's not too far off there inside. He got it in. You can live with it. 0-2. Bullpen is quiet for the Dodgers. 37 pitches is Stripling's high for the year. He's worked out of the bullpen all season. He's about to throw number 50 on the evening. A curveball in the dirt, 1-2.
Not sure how much lead time Ross Stripling had to take this start tonight. It kind of caught us by surprise when we found out Rich Hill was not going to pitch tonight. I'm not sure if Stripling had enough of an opportunity to stretch out and throw more pitches in a ball game.
We thought for a while when it was announced yesterday that Hill would be scratched, it might be Brock Stewart, but they went with Stripling instead. There's Rich Hill.
Just can't seem to overcome those blister issues that he has almost every year.
Called strike 3. Chris Owings the batter now. Hey, you think about Rich Hill, it was only a few years ago he was out of affiliated baseball. He was 35, a long injury history, back trouble, torn elbow ligaments, labrum, Tommy John. He was pitching for the Long Island Ducks in the Atlantic League, and Jared Porter, who is now the D-backs assistant GM, was the guy when working for the Red Sox that went down and took a look at him throwing for the Long Island Ducks and said, you know what, you should take a look at Rich Hill. The Red Sox needed a pitcher, and JP had seen Rich Hill throw, and they picked him up off the scrap heap at the tail end of the 2015 season. He got himself a job with Oakland next year and eventually wound up with a $48 million contract with LA. But it was Jared Porter that got the Red Sox to get interested in Rich Hill, and now here he is years later.
You see that Rich Hill curveball, I don't care where he's pitching, that'll catch your eye. He's got one of the better overhand curveballs in all of baseball.
But he just can't stay healthy. It's been like that his whole career. Of course, he went to the University of Michigan, so you know, take what you can get. As a non-football school, you would expect a baseball player at Michigan to be pretty good.
Yeah. Or a hockey player.
Yeah. Most of our guys in the truck are Michigan folks, so we like to have some fun. They don't like it, but we do. That's a foul ball.
Well, they've all got band-aids on their fingers too.
From pushing all those buttons all year long.
There have been a couple good ball players come out of the University of Michigan. Barry Larkin jumps to mind immediately.
Moeller High, yeah. Michigan.
Jim Abbott.
Greg McMurtry. Remember, Greg McMurtry was a great wide receiver. Pretty good baseball player. Big college football player. That's when Michigan had a football program. 1-2 on CO. Tap to shortstop for Taylor.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free crunchy beef tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Nick Ahmed's a UConn Husky. Had an RBI single and scored a run his first time up tonight. Tell you, you can go through Nick's family. They are academically inclined. His older brother, Alex, is a Harvard graduate. And his younger brother, Mike, who's in the Dodgers minor league system, he went to Holy Cross in Worcester, Massachusetts. That's a real hard school to get into. So that's a smart family out there, the Ahmeds.
I'd have to say Nick is probably the smartest because he's here in Arizona.
Well, the smart people, that's where they hang out. This is hit well. Deep center field. And it's gone. Nick Ahmed onto the home run porch. That's number 5, and it's 4-0. As you were saying, Bob, this is not the same Nick Ahmed at the plate that we've seen the last few seasons.
Well, not at all. I mean, if you saw Nick play the last couple of years and then saw him this year, you might have trouble identifying him at the plate. Defensively, he's the same guy he's always been, maybe even a little bit better. But offensively, that new swing, lifting the ball in the air, driving it out of the ballpark and into the gaps. This is a guy that they haven't seen in the National League.
Well, Ross Stripling pitching in relief had not given up a home run all year. He's given up 2 tonight. A jumbo jack off the bat of Nick Ahmed. Free jumbo jack tomorrow. A jack in the box with the purchase of a large drink. Pollock in the second, and now Ahmed in the fourth. And here's Jeff Mathis. That one rolls into left field. And the D-backs will be able to clear the pitcher's spot. Although last time up, Zach Greinke had a hard hit ball into left for an RBI single.
Yeah, clearing the pitcher, sometimes it's obviously very attractive to get that pitcher out of the way in this inning so you can lead off with the top of your order next inning. But with Zach Greinke, I think most teams just treat him like another hitter in the lineup.
He's a really good athlete. He was a great tennis player when he was a youngster, Zach Greinke, growing up in Florida. They thought he might be one of those superstar teen sensations as a tennis player. Hot and cold zones. Where to pitch, guys? Clayton Kershaw will be out there tomorrow night against Matt Cook.
Yeah, you saw that cheat sheet that they were looking at over there in the Dodgers dugout. Every team has something similar to that. Sometimes they look a little bit different. Sometimes the charts are a little bit different. Sometimes it's a pitcher's view. Other times it's a catcher's view of where the pitches are.
Two 2-0 on Zach. And he gives one a ride. Deep right field. Verdugo won't get it. It bounces into the seats. Mathis will have to stay put at third. It's a double for Greinke. He's 2 for 2. How about some opposite field power?
How about that? We saw the very first ball of the game hit out to right field by Chris Taylor and chased Gerard Dyson all the way back to the warning track on what looked like a routine fly ball. This one has squared up to the gap in right center, chasing Verdugo back to the 376 mark. He gets all twisted around off the warning track up into the stands.
I will say this in defense of Alex Verdugo. Look at his jersey right there. There's a lot of wind swirling around here with the roof open and the outfield panels closed. And he got fooled by that one that time. You see the players' jerseys there. The wind is definitely blowing here tonight. A chance for David Peralta, who has grounded out, struck out 0 for 2.
And David's going to get an intentional walk right here to bring up Gerard Dyson with 2 outs in the inning.
First base on balls for Stripling. And Dyson will hit with the bases full and 2 down. Dyson is tapped back to the mound, actually trying to bunt. And popped up, he's 0 for 2. Last time we saw Dyson in a bases loaded situation, he tried to bunt. That was in Philadelphia. Curveballs in the dirt, 1-0.
Yeah, that bunt in Philadelphia got a lot of criticism for trying to bunt for a base hit with the bases loaded, but you look at the replay, it took a tremendously athletic play by Jake Arrieta just to get to that ball and then shovel it home while he was in midair, diving toward the plate.
Yeah, they cut A.J. Pollock coming home from third, and A.J. was, when he was tagged out, was in the right-hand batter's box, so it was awfully close. But as Torey Lovullo likes to say, if you play for 1 run, you might only score 1 run. And when you've got the bases loaded, let's try for the big inning.
Yeah, especially the way Gerard's been stinging the ball. A couple of home runs in Philadelphia on that last road trip. One of them a monster home run.
4 hits in that series, including a pair of homers. This is trying to get to the seats, but it won't make it. Muncie's underneath. And the D-backs leave them loaded, but they add a run. Nick Ahmed on the home run porch in center, his 5th of the year. And through 4, it's 4-0 D-backs. Chase Field, D-backs with a 4-0 lead over the Dodgers. A reminder, fans, you can participate in our D-backs 50-50 charity raffle presented by the Arizona Lottery right from home, along with all of us here at the ballpark. This is your chance to win half the pot here and help the kids in our community. Get your tickets online during every D-backs home game, televised on Fox Sports Arizona at dbacks.com/5050 raffle, and the winning number gets revealed on the D-backs live postgame show. Nick Ahmed, an RBI single and a solo homer. D-backs with a 4-0 lead for Zach Greinke as Alex Verdugo leads off the LA 5th. Not necessarily getting ahead in the count all that often. But it's worked out. He's given up only 1 hit. He's got 6 strikeouts. Jerry Lane's had an enormous strike zone. Well, you see those pictures from the olden days of Ty Cobb or somebody. Kind of reminds you of Verdugo.
Well, Verdugo looks a lot like Corey Seager and Cody Bellinger and Jock Peterson with that uppercut, back knee almost on the ground as he's swinging at the ball.
Fastball in, didn't get the call that time. Of course, Ty Cobb, I don't think, had all the ink and all the armor on there, but
had a lot of dirt on his uniform most of the time.
Sure did. Changeup missed badly there. It's 3-1. Kike Hernandez and his pine tar on deck. Greinke 60 pitches in the ball game, 40 strikes. First 3-ball count of the ball game for Greinke, and now it's full 3-2. He struck out 6. He's not walked a batter. He has hit 1. That was Grandal back in the first. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Alex Verdugo. 21-year-old rookie out of Tucson. Lays off a high changeup. First walk of the ball game for Greinke.
Center fielder, Kike Hernandez.
Kike Hernandez in center field tonight, grounded out to end the second. They've had to move pieces all over the field with all these injuries. And so Hernandez making his first start this year in center field for Dave Roberts. He is the utility guy. He can play anywhere and usually does.
Yeah, Dave Roberts is fortunate to have a guy like Kike Hernandez, as well as Chris Taylor at the top of the order. Another guy that can play multiple positions, either in the infield or the outfield. And with all the injuries they've had, they need some flexibility.
I mean, they're missing, if you think about their infield. Corey Seager's going to be out for the year now with Tommy John surgery coming up. So there's your shortstop. They haven't had Turner all year, their third baseman. They're without Logan Forsythe, their second baseman, who hurt himself filling in at third for Turner. Foul back, and it's 0-2. There is Justin Turner. They're hopeful he'll be back soon. He did start hitting off a tee at Camelback Ranch a couple of days ago.
Looks like Turner got a little trim there.
How can you tell?
Well, the back used to be as long as the front.
Matt Kemp's got the Oscar Gamble going.
Yeah, he does.
Kemp has had a little bit of a quad problem lately. Slider in the dirt, 1-2. Dodgers have lost 5 of their last 6 games. They dropped 3 of 4 to the Giants in their last series at AT&T Park. And now the second stop on their longest road trip of the year. Fastball off the plate. Jerry Lane doesn't bite. It's 2-2. He's gotten that call before. Max Muncy, the third baseman, on deck. Dodgers right now 11 games in 10 days. 4 in San Francisco, 4 here in Phoenix, and then without a day off, they open up a 3-game series against the Padres in Monterrey, Mexico on Friday. They didn't get a day for travel or anything.
It's close.
It is. But usually when you start an international series like that, you kind of make a fuss about it. You give them a day to go in there and have a news conference, something. Lays off a slider. So Zach having to work here. It's 3-2. He went full on Verdugo and lost him. Now a full count on Kike Hernandez with Muncy on deck.
And walk to Verdugo, only the 4th of the season for Zach Greinke.
How about that, huh? 4 walks against 38 strikeouts. Got him. Good slider. 7 punch-outs for Greinke.
That's a pitch that's given him some problems this year. He's left some sliders over the middle of the plate that have been hit hard. That was a good one, though. Outer third of the plate, moving down and away from Hernandez.
Yeah, we mentioned that last start last week against Philadelphia. He doesn't hang a slider to Aaron Altair. It's a whole new ball game. Shift is on now for Muncy, who grounded out his first time up. Slow curveball, and he steals strike one. Greinke's thrown that pitch a whole bunch tonight.
Yeah, a lot more than we usually see it. As I mentioned earlier, that was a pitch that he usually kept in his back pocket. Something he could throw second and third time through the order.
Here's a look at the defensive alignment against Muncy. Pitcher spot is behind him, and Kyle Farmer has come out to pinch hit for Ross Stripling. 0-2.
I mean, you can imagine a hitter surprised if you've seen nothing but fastballs and hard sliders and hard changeups your first 2 at-bats in the ball game, and you come up there for your 3rd at-bat and he rolls a 69-mile-an-hour curveball up there. It's just going to lock you up.
Might either lock you up or you swing out of your shoes. 70 pitches, 46 for strikes. Well, he's really had trouble throwing that changeup where he wants it tonight. There's Farmer set to hit for Stripling. That curveball's gotten as low as 66, the fastball at 91. There's a changeup that he liked a whole bunch. 8 strikeouts now.
Has to give the illusion of a strike out of his hand, and that one did. It looked like a fastball in the middle of the plate, and then just dive bombed low and away for Muncy.
So that's it for Ross Stripling. Brock Stewart, who was also a candidate to start this game tonight, is ready in a bullpen. Kyle Farmer will hit. Farmer batting .256 on the year. He is 4 for 7 as a pinch hitter this year, including a double and 2 RBIs. Stripling, 4 runs, 8 hits in 4 innings of work. Mike Butcher wants a word. Greinke might want to have a conversation here.
Maybe just a refresher of the scouting report, how they want to pitch to Kyle Farmer.
Jerry Lane out to break it up. Well, after losing Robbie Ray yesterday, you'd get a little nervous when you see something like that. Robbie on the DL now with that oblique strain. They're not sure how long it's going to be for him. Shelby Miller coming back. Tommy John right there. He continues to progress very well. Hopefully we see Shelby sometime around midseason. Boy, you can't throw a better fastball than that right there. 1-1.
Yeah, it's funny how your routine changes because of an injury. I mean, Robbie Ray normally would go through what starting pitchers do. Get your running in, throw your side sessions, play long toss, get ready for your next start. But when you're on the disabled list, your day revolves around that training room.
Behind the dugout and out of play. 1-2.
Usually you have to get to the ballpark a little bit earlier because you want to get your treatments and whatever it is you need to start that road to rehab. You want to get out of the way before the players who are playing that night get there. Then they need treatments to get ready to go out on the field and play that night. So you got to get to the ballpark before the rest of the team to get your treatments. Even during the game, Robbie will disappear from time to time, go up into the clubhouse, into the training room, get some treatments, and then come back out.
Broken bat hopper to Descalso, and they get the force on Verdugo. Greinke threw 5 scoreless with a 4-0 lead. All right, T-Mobile built for baseball. Look at what happened in Cincinnati. Did you see this?
Yeah, Josh Hader punched out 8 in less than 3 innings of work.
Built for baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Faced 9 guys and struck out 8. Something like that?
Yeah, walked 1, I believe.
Boy, oh boy.
Boy, that's just filthy. That low 3/4 kind of reminds me of another big, tall left-hander.
Nobody comes to mind. With the hair and the whole thing. Good night to be at the ballpark. Roof is open, cool and comfortable inside. Goldie leads off the D-backs 5th against your new LA pitcher.
Yeah, that guy could strike out a few.
Part of our broadcast team this year.
Yeah.
We'll have the big unit with us in the booth on all our Throwback Thursday games. Goldie has flat out single. He's 1 for 2. Brock Stewart was called up from AAA Oklahoma City before yesterday's game, and they thought he might start this one tonight. He's made 4 starts at AAA this year and pitched well at 2.41 ERA. But they went with Stripling instead, and he got knocked around for 4 runs, 8 hits in 4 innings. Got that one in on the hands, and it's 1-2. Goldie's been missing some fastballs lately. His strikeout rate right now is right at 30%, which is by far a career high. And as Dave Magadan, the hitting coach, looks on, he's been going to the opposite field a lot more often, not pulling the ball as often as he did the last 2 years. Makes a cut at a changeup and strikes out 1 down.
Hey fans, the day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com.
A.J. Pollock got the scoring started. He led off the 2nd inning with a home run, his 7th of the year. Leading the D-backs in homers, RBIs, and OPS. Crowd him with a fastball, 1-0. AJ says he's paying attention with what's going on in front of him when he's using this new approach, trying to keep that bat a little longer through the zone. Better recognition of pitches. It's worked out wonderfully for him. But because he's got the new mechanics now, he's sort of really paying attention to what happens, and he's using the feedback to figure out what's going on mechanically with his swing. And he says right now he's got a better understanding of everything he's doing than he's ever had before. He's not just going out there playing. So it really is a kind of a clinical approach for him, and the results speak for themselves. Launches another one. There it goes. A.J. Pollock. His second home run tonight. That's number 8. And it's 5-0 D-backs. And Bob Brenly, you know what that means.
Yes, I do.
It's time for tacos.
Has hit the ball hard. That was a slider that just stayed in the middle of the plate and down. It's underneath it. Golfs it to left field. Didn't even look like a home run swing, but he barreled it up and got it way out of here to left field.
A free jumbo jack and a big hug from Steven Souza Jr. Free jumbo jack tomorrow. A Jack in the Box with the purchase of a large drink.
Your partner, I was starting to think there was some kind of a conspiracy.
Well, I know you're very sensitive about your tacos.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we went to Philly and D.C. on the road trip, and fans here got tacos 3 of the 6 days we were gone. We only had them once the entire last homestand, so this is a good start to this homestand.
All smiles from A.J. Pollock, and why not? What a start to the year it's been for A.J. Descalso hits one through the shift by a diving Utley and into right. Daniel 2 for 3 tonight.
If you hit it hard enough, it doesn't matter how many defenders they have on that side of the field. Just past a diving Chase Utley for his second knock of the game.
Well, he's so good at using the whole field, too. So a rough greeting here for Brock Stewart. He struck out Goldie, a home run and a single. Here's CO, who's twice grounded out to shortstop. 5 runs on 10 hits, including 3 homers, all solo shots, 2 by A.J. Pollock and 1 by Nick Ahmed. Owings jumps on the first one, pops it up. Way up in that wind, Utley tracks it down. 2 outs. Here's Nick. Nick's had a big night, an RBI single and that solo homer in the 4th. Onto the home run porch in center. His 5th of the year.
That was after he shot a ball right down the right field line for an RBI back in the 2nd inning.
Stewart's done that a few times now. That first pitch fastball in well off the plate. D-backs with the National League's best record, 19-8. 5 games ahead of the Rockies. Colorado won today. They beat the Cubs at Wrigley Field 3-2. Giants are hosting the Dodgers. Jeff Samardzija on the mound, or pardon me, the Padres. San Francisco with a 3-0 lead. Start of a 7-game homestand for Torey Lovullo's ball club against the 2 reigning league champions. First time in D-backs history they've played the World Series teams from the previous year in consecutive series. 4 against the Dodgers and 3 against the Astros starting on Friday. And then right back out to LA for 2 games against these guys before we come back home for the Nationals and the Brewers. Sliders as strikes as Jerry Lane, 1-2.
How about A.J. Pollock this season against the Dodgers? This is the 7th game he's played against LA this year. He's got 7 hits 3 doubles and 4 homers.
Wow.
Slugging .917 against LA.
It's going to be hard to take him out of the cleanup spot when everybody gets healthy at this rate. You're going to have to think about some things. I know you like to break up the righties and the lefties, but boy, the production has been unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, AJ this year, 8 home runs, 23 RBIs, 8 doubles, 2 triples. He's also stolen 6 bases.
He played his usual Gold Glove defense in center field. Other than that, he hasn't done much.
Yeah, got to pick up the pace. 1-2 on Nick Ahmed. Nick bangs one into left. That gets down. Peterson over to cut it off. Descalso's in at third, and Ahmed has a double. He's a triple shy of the cycle.
Stay hot. Oh, that's a sinker way off the plate inside. I'll tell you, the Diamondbacks right-handed hitters seem more willing to take that inside pitch even off the plate and go ahead and put a rip on it. Nick didn't exactly barrel that one up, but he hit it hard enough to get it down in the left field corner. Put runners at second and third with 2 outs for Jeff Mathis.
Oh, Mathis singled his last time up. A single here adds 2 more. Jeff 1 for 2 so far. Again, Stewart starts off with a fastball in. That one's a strike. It's 0-1. You like to talk about the bottom of the order contributing. We've talked a lot about AJ and his 2 homers. Descalso batting 5th is 2 for 3. But Ahmed 7th has singled, homered, and doubled. Mathis has a single. Greinke singled and doubled. He's got an RBI.
And I think that's why they're pitching to Jeff Mathis right here. They don't want to walk him intentionally to load the bases because of what Greinke's already done in this ball game offensively.
And normally in this spot, 2 outs, first base open, pitcher on deck. It's a no-brainer ball 4. This may be the discussion. All right, we're behind on Mathis. What do you want to do? Greinke an RBI single in the second and a ground rule double in the 4th. He just missed a home run out there. Both balls hit very hard by Zach. 2 balls, 1 strike on the D-backs catcher Jeff Mathis. Fastball right there, 2-2. Facet to second. Utley charges. And they're able to get out of the inning. But the Diamondbacks add 1 more. A.J. Pollock, his 2nd home run tonight. His 8th of the year. And through 5, it's 5-0 D-backs.
And now next man up has been the Diamondbacks mantra. However, they wish they didn't have to put it to use so often and so early into the season. However, the D-backs haven't skipped a beat, and as Daniel Descalso explained to me, it starts with Torrey. He's called the skip at the ultimate communicator. He said you always know how or when you're going to be used, so there's not a lot of guesswork for the players. Peralta went on to say that Torrey from day one has made this more than a clubhouse, but rather a family room. Peralta said that's inclusion has made it very easy for the new guys, whether it's a call-up or a new guy from a different team trying to fit in. And even the injured guys are noticing the depth of this team. Jake Lamb and Steven Souza Jr. have both joked with me that they like to see the team succeeding, takes the pressure off for them rushing back after injury. However, they said once they get back in there, they don't want to mess with this chemistry.
Yeah, you're right, Kate. There's Steven Souza Jr. He said when he got here, he felt like he'd been here for years. I mean, he was welcomed in immediately. Taylor hits one hard toward the left field corner. That gets down and reaches the wall. Chris Taylor, the Dodgers shortstop, leads off the 6th inning. Just the second base hit for LA against Zack Greinke. By the way, we'd like to point out a little programming note here, BB. Speaking about Torey Lovullo. Torey will be wearing a microphone for us, so we're bugging the manager more than we usually do during the ball game tomorrow night. So on Fox Sports Arizona, when you watch the D-backs and Dodgers tomorrow night, we'll have various cuts, whatever we turn up, with the manager mic'd up during batting practice and during the ball game, which is always fascinating.
Oh yeah, we've had some pretty good luck with miking the players or the manager so far this season. Heard some very interesting things.
Some of which we've actually been able to put on TV, which is always nice. Utley's up there now. Utley has struck out, grounded out 0 for 2. D-backs have 3 defenders on the right side of the infield. Descalso near the bag at third.
You saw Utley showing bunt there on that first delivery from Zack Greinke. We've seen him do that a lot this year. Diamondbacks have played a shift on Chase Utley just about every at bat they faced him this summer, and he has shown bunt several times. I haven't seen him put a bunt down yet, but he has shown bunt.
Well, this might be the time to do it with the shift on. Ahmed hanging around near that second base bag right behind Taylor. Pops it up shallow left center. Long run in for David. 1 out in the 6th. That'll bring up Yasmani Grandal, who's got the other Dodger hit, also a double. Now the defense goes back to normal for the D-backs. Hit hard and through. Taylor being waved home. Dyson's got it. No throw, and he's 5-1. Dodgers on the board. Grandal 2 for 3. Boy, he is always a problem.
He really is. Yasmani Grandal having a nice year, was hitting .291 coming into play tonight. That's his second base hit in the ball game. And with all the injuries the Dodgers have suffered, you know, you change the way you approach their offense. You know, whereas before Justin Turner was a guy you didn't want to let beat you. Corey Seager was a guy on certain series you don't want to let beat you. Yasiel Puig occasionally is a guy you don't want to let beat you. Well, I think the way this team is configured right now, Yasmani Grandal is a guy they have to keep an eye on.
Bellinger 0 for 2. 5 for 14 career against Greinke, with a couple of home runs, not including one in the postseason. That won't stay fair for Mathis. Bellinger swung the bat well lately, multiple hits in 3 of his last 5 games. And hitting nearly .340 versus right-hand pitching this year. This is usually the spot. There's another non-strike call by Jerry Lane, where we've seen a couple of times Zach might hang a slider here and he gives up a home run or two, and suddenly a game that you thought was pretty much in control gets a little closer than you'd like. He's at 85 pitches right now, trying to get through 6. Fastball down and away. Bellinger not happy with Jerry Lane. Still upset about the previous pitch.
You know what hitters will tell an umpire is, you made me swing at that pitch because you called one out there on the pitch before. I feel like I have to swing at that pitch, and quite honestly, that's tough to reach.
2 down now. Peterson has struck out twice, and his at bat to end the 4th inning. Greinke, as we showed you, did not throw a strike, yet he struck out the batter. Peterson didn't swing and was called out on strikes. That one in the strike zone. There's that curveball. We've seen it a lot tonight. Peterson's always, it seems, changing something up there. Now he's got this Jim Thome thing going with the point out toward the pitcher and the lean back. He belts this one fair down the right field line. Grandal headed for 3rd, and they're going to send him in. Diamondbacks can't control the relay, and Peterson's all the way at 3rd. Things got a little sloppy out there, and now it's 5-2.
Well, for Yasmani Grandal to score from first base, you know things had to get a little bit sloppy. That ball's hooked down into the right field corner for Gerard Dyson. Kind of hit off the edge of the bullpen right there, got away from him momentarily. His throw back to the infield clanks off the glove of Chris Owings. And Grandal comes all the way around from first base.
Alex Verdugo has grounded out and walked. Another curveball, and once again he steals strike 1 with it. Dodgers, who had only 1 hit through 5, have 3 hits and a couple of runs here in the 6th. 0-2. 90 pitches, 60 strikes. Emergency. Got a change up and just did get a piece of it. The sheriff, Andrew Chafin, starts to get it cranked up in the Sanderson Ford bullpen.
5 left-handed hitters and a switch hitter in the Dodgers lineup tonight, so it figured that one of the lefties would be the first one up.
We saw both McFarland and De La Rosa yesterday in Washington, D.C. Got him. 10 strikeouts for Zach Greinke, but the Dodgers get 2. It's 5-2 D-backs. Beat LA. That's the theme here this week. First of 4 against the Dodgers. D-backs lead at 5-2. A reminder, fans, if you're not able to watch the games on TV, stream them live on your mobile device. Use Fox Sports Go. It's presented locally by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the free app. Take Fox Sports Arizona and your D-backs with you wherever you go. Zach Greinke's night will end here. Christian Walker will hit for Greinke to start the bottom of the 6th inning against right-hander Brock Stewart, on for his 2nd inning of work. Greinke with some help from Jerry Lane goes 6 innings, gives up 2 runs, 4 hits. He walked 1 and struck out 10. It was a pretty sizable strike zone back there tonight.
Yeah, it was, but he was able to take advantage of it because he can command the ball. If you're going to go 2 or 3 or 4 or 8 or 10 inches off the outside corners, Zach can make that adjustment out there on the mound. Yoshi Hirano now throwing in the Diamondbacks bullpen.
So Greinke, who beat LA at Dodger Stadium April 13th, leaves with a 5-2 lead here on the final day in April. 1-1 on Christian Walker. Excuse me, check swing foul. 1-2. Christian got the start at first base for Goldie Saturday in D.C. He walked into a double play and struck out twice. We talk about big game Bob Ray and his 1,000-yard stare on days when he pitches. Christian Walker. Every time you see him, he looks like he's about to step into the ring with Mike Tyson. He is focused.
He takes his craft very seriously. We've talked about it many times. Christian Walker works harder than anybody on this roster every day, even though he knows it's probably going to be a pinch hit appearance at best.
Got a change up there and strikes out.
Hey, fans, receive 15% off at the Chase Field Team Shop when you use the card by Gila River Casinos.
David Peralta has grounded out, struck out, been walked intentionally. 0 for 2. David had that big 3-hit game Saturday against the Nationals when he homered twice. And today a multi-home run game for A.J. Pollock. Big cut of the fastball there. 1-1. When you have an 0 for 4 with 4 punch outs, what does that do to your head, your head space? Not that you ever had. I'm just guessing you maybe had 1 over the course of a long and distinguished career. But
I don't even want my staff to look it up.
I mean, it's got to have some kind of an effect. It sort of sits with you, I would imagine.
Well, I think David would probably be able to let yesterday go pretty quickly because it was Gio Gonzalez, and like you said, he just wasn't seeing the ball at all. He was swinging at pitches that were bouncing 3 feet in front of home plate, breaking balls that were a foot off the outside corner, chasing high fastballs. I just don't think he was seeing the ball well at all yesterday.
Yeah, went 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts against Gio. But I would think maybe sometimes you come out the next game and you go, all right, now I'm going to make up for that.
I'm out of the way.
Wipe that off, and I'm going to hit everything today. I just wonder if it can throw you off kilter a bit. Start doing things you wouldn't normally do.
Well, it might affect David, but you know, some of us striking out 4 times, no big deal.
Just kind of par for the course. Well, the great ones are always able to shake it off.
I mean, after you see your first unicorn, it's no big deal to see another one, even a herd of unicorns.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Here it is. got down there and got a piece of that changeup. You can hear the brakes slamming on about halfway through there. First of 4 as we open up this homestand against the Dodgers. Astros in for 3 starting Friday. dbacks.com/tickets. The 2 World Series teams from last year here this week. Well, as one may have predicted, your crack staff is all over this. And I think you're going to be very pleasantly surprised.
Okay.
In the course of your long career, you only had 2 4-strikeout games.
Wow,
only
really?
2.
How about that?
The next day you went 0 for 4 and 0 for 3 after the 2 times. So it did sort of pile up.
Oh,
But that's pretty good. Inside. And a good at bat there by David. He works a 1-out walk.
9-pitch at bat for David Peralta.
Gerard Dyson 0 for 3.
It was probably just unselfishness on my part. You
Somebody's
know,
got you a big
probably
lead.
had a big lead.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Team player.
somebody's got to make the outs.
Just being a team player, it's all that is. Dyson popped up with the bases loaded to end the 4th, his last time up. Trying to bunt his way on again. Boy, we've seen him do this a lot lately. You were calling for more Gerard Dyson bunts early in the year, and now we're seeing them in bunches.
Well, early in the year, he was putting down good bunts. He may be trying to be a little too fine that time down the third baseline. I think that's one thing for Dyson. If you just keep it away from the pitcher and the catcher, force one of the corner infielders to make the play, you're probably not going to get him.
Got Max Muncy down there at third with 1 foot on the grass. Quick throw to first, and David is back in time. Daniel Hudson, a former D-back. Sorry, Bob. Warming up in the Dodger bullpen where the phone is ringing. Well, that's not a sight that you like to see. Huddy in Dodger blue. It doesn't work.
Well, knowing Daniel Hudson the way we do, we're just glad he's in the major leagues.
Absolutely.
Just don't do it good against us.
By the way, we have additional information on your 2 career 4-strikeout games. Do you want to take a guess at the 2 pitchers against whom you went 0 for 4 or with 4 strikeouts?
John Tudor.
Good guess, but wrong.
Fernando.
Both right-handers.
Oh, both right-handers.
One of them scuffed the ball, probably.
Mike Scott.
Correct. That was a good clue. And the other nobody hit this guy. Threw kind of hard.
Nolan.
Correct.
Oh.
Wow, good guessing. So there you go. That's justified.
Yeah.
Mike Scott and Nolan Ryan.
Hall of Famer and a cheater.
Well, 1 and 2 on Dyson. Goldie on deck.
When I was playing with the Giants and we were facing the Mike Scott Houston Astros, Al Rosen, our general manager, got to the point where he was just fed up with the whole thing. I mean, he was blatantly cheating, and you could tell by the action on his pitches.
He was famous for scuffing the baseball,
Yes.
Mike Scott.
So Al Rosen sent a camera crew to Houston for our series and said, listen.
Right there on the corner. Good pitch by Stewart.
He said, I want you to focus on Mike Scott, and no matter what happens, do not take the camera off of him. Well, sure enough, about the 4th inning of the ball game, Roger Craig walked out to the home plate umpire and said, I'd like you to go out there and check him, please. And just as he did that, the cameraman swung to home plate to catch the argument that Roger was having with the umpire. And in the meantime, Mike Scott dropped something on the turf at the Astrodome. Billy Doran came in and stood on it until the meeting was over on the mound. Well, the camera crew got fired.
Justifiably. Breivik Valera coming in, a double switch for Dave Roberts back after this. Daniel Hudson here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Will remind you fans, you can watch every out-of-market regular season game live at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. It includes MLB at Bat Premium. That lets you watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Visit MLB.tv for details. Wearing Dodger blue, it's former D-back Daniel Hudson. And Huddy made his Dodger debut back about a week ago, April 24th. Called up from AAA Oklahoma City. He was with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And then during spring training this year was traded to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay let him go at the end of spring training. He was picked up by the Dodgers. Breivik Valera takes over in right field for Alex Verdugo. He'll bat 9th, pitcher spot 6th in the LA order. So it's Huddy versus Goldie with 2 outs in the 6th.
2 previous at-bats for Paul Goldschmidt against his former teammate. And one of those 2 at-bats resulted in a long home run.
Huddy last year 71 appearances with the Pittsburgh Pirates. 2-7, a 4.38 ERA, 66 strikeouts in 61 innings. We flash back to one of their earlier meetings at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Pirates, just after spring training opened, traded Daniel Hudson to Tampa Bay for Corey Dickerson. They needed some outfield help. Tampa Bay let him go. Dodgers picked him up April 2nd. Two balls and 1 strike. Goldie has flied out, singled, and struck out. He's 1 for 3. He's got Peralta down there at first base and 2 outs. Two one is sky high, foul ground, third base side. Muncy off the glove. He almost had it. Nice effort there. Max Muncy at third.
He gets over there to the railing, leans over, it hits him in the glove and pops right out. You just get extended to the point where you can't squeeze the glove as much as you'd like to hold that ball in there. Hit right off the heel of the glove and out.
So now Goldie gets another chance. It's funny how often those types of things come back to bite the team that almost made the play. Fastball down and away.
Daniel Hudson still throws hard. That last fastball at 95.
Yeah, Huddy's 71 appearances with the Pirates last year were a career high. A.J. Pollock, who's homered twice tonight, would be next.
Shook off the fastball in and away. Going to throw a slider right here.
Peralta off with a pitch, and that's ball 4. Here comes Pollock. Our Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing cool plays of the game. AJ solo homers in the 2nd and the 5th.
Not to mention a long foul home run before he hit the first one.
Numbers 7 and 8 on the year for AJ. 2 on and 2 out. Peralta is the runner at 2nd and Goldschmidt at 1st. Fastball up, and it's 0-1. Behind the screen and out of play. 0-2 on A.J. Pollock. Giants still leading the Padres 3-2. They're in the 5th inning in San Francisco. Rockies lost to the Cubs 3-2 at Wrigley today. Pop up, shallow right center. Utley ranging way out there, and he's just able to avoid Valera and hang on. 7th inning on the way. It's 5-2 D-backs. Friday, the celebration of the D-backs 20th anniversary continues as Fox Sports Arizona brings you a show on the D-backs pitchers over the years, hosted by Mark Grace. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Debuts Friday, 5:30 and 10:30, right here on Fox Sports Arizona. New pitcher for the D-backs as we start the 7th, the right-hander Yoshihisa Hirano. And we saw Yoshi in the first 2 games of the series at Nationals Park. He pitched Friday and Saturday. This is set up perfectly for the way that Torey Lovullo likes to use the back end of his bullpen, match up Hirano with the lower portions of the order, and then match up Archie Bradley for some of the big boys, and that sets it up for Brad Boxberger.
Yeah, those 2 appearances in D.C. you talked about for Hirano, pitched a total of 2 innings, struck out 4 opposing batters.
Kike Hernandez 0 for 2 leads off the LA 7th. That one is a rocket right at Descalso. How's your exit velocity, please?
Hang with her. Right at game to Descalso, playing maybe a step behind the baseline. That's self-defense right there.
100 miles an hour off the bat, and now Descalso will stand next to second base on Vic Carapazza as the third baseman Max Muncy steps in. He's 0 for 2. There's a look at the defensive alignment. Owings back in the outfield grass at second. Muncy has grounded out, struck out. Fastball from Yoshi right there, and it's 1-1. Muncy had a pair of hits, including a double in game 1 of their doubleheader in San Francisco Saturday. There's the splitter. Muncy all of last season with the Dodgers AAA team in Oklahoma City hit .309 there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Splitter in the dirt, 2-2. It is really windy down there. Breivik Valera double switched into the ball game, playing right field now. He'll be next. Muncy launches one toward the right field corner. And it's in the bullpen. Max Muncy, his second of the year, and it's a 5-3 ball game.
Splitter that just hung up on that inside part of the plate, didn't get down low enough, wasn't away far enough, and Muncy just keeps it inside the foul pole down that right field line for a solo homer.
So the D-backs, who once led 5-0, have seen that lead cut to 5-3 as Breivik Valera steps in. He was recalled from the minor leagues today after Corey Seager went down for the year. Seager has an injury to the ligament in his throwing elbow and will need Tommy John surgery. So here's Valera having a big year at AAA Oklahoma City. 373, 2 homers. He's knocked in 14 runs in 17 games there.
I know the Coast League has a reputation of being a hitter's league, but 370 is 370. I don't care where you're playing.
He was swinging it down there. Former St. Louis Cardinal, acquired by the Dodgers April 1st. We saw Valera earlier this month, in fact, when he was up for a while with the Dodgers in LA. Top of the order behind him, Chris Taylor on deck. Fastball up, still 2-2. Valera's been a good minor league hitter. He was with the Cardinals AAA team in Memphis last year, hit .314 there in a full season. And he can be a tough guy to strike out. Last year at Memphis, he walked more than he punched out in a full season in the Coast League. And he's worked this count full 3-2. You put Valera on here, suddenly you've got Taylor up there in the tying run at the plate. Fights off a fastball to stay alive. D-backs led it 3-0, 4-0, and 5-0. Now it's 5-3. They've out hit LA 11-5. This is hit to deep center. AJ's got room. 2 outs.
I think that's exactly what Hirano was hoping to do right there. Get Valera to hit the ball in the air. You get very short, quick, compact swing. Doesn't really try to drive the ball. Get him to hit the ball in the air to the opposite field. You're probably going to get him out.
Taylor doubled and scored his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Taylor in at shortstop tonight. If you're just joining us, again, the big news from LA, Corey Seager Their all-star shortstop, a sprained UCL in his right elbow. That's his throwing elbow. He will need Tommy John surgery and is done for the year. That's an elbow problem that has nagged Seager ever since just about the middle of the year last season. Fly ball near the line, dice it on the run, and it's in the seats.
Well, even when he doesn't make the catch, he covers a lot of ground. He ran a long way to get over there to the barrier. That ball about 2 rows up into the seats.
Well, his handle on the Twitter is Mr. Zumbaya, and he covers a lot of ground when he's zooming around out there. Good fastball right there, 1-2. 93 from Yoshi. Hit hard, and what a play out there. Owings has it. That's the inning. We stretch. It's 5-3. A 5-3 lead. Dodgers series tonight through Thursday. Verlander, Altuve and company. The Astros will be here this weekend starting on Friday. Matchups you don't want to miss. Get your tickets. dbacks.com. This is a historic homestand. It's the first time in D-backs history they've played the reigning league champions in back-to-back series.
And a chance to be historic for another reason. If the Diamondbacks can hang on and win this ball game against the Dodgers, it'd be the first time in their history they'd gone an entire calendar month without losing back-to-back games.
That's impressive, isn't it?
That is.
A win tonight gets them to 20-8 on the year. Descalso, who's got 2 hits tonight, leads off the 7th against former D-back great Daniel Hudson. Descalso doubled and scored in the 2nd. He singled his last time up in the 5th. A whole month without losing back-to-back games. That's hard to do. And we've had a lot of travel, a fair amount of travel so far. We've played in some ridiculously cold conditions, all kinds of stuff to deal with, long cross-country plane flights. And here they are with the best record in the National League. Archie Bradley. Sanderson, Ford bullpen. Utley, Grandal, Bellinger 2, 3, and 4 due up in the Dodger 8th inning. And we saw the Hirano, Bradley, Boxberger trio work both Friday and Saturday at Nats Park in D.C. 2-2.
We're talking about historic months. Major League Baseball is on the verge of the very first time in the history of the game that there are more strikeouts than hits in a month.
You've been tracking this for a while now.
Yeah, going into play tonight, 7,163 strikeouts, 6,808 hits.
That is not good for baseball because Rob Manfred has been trying to figure out a way to get the ball in play more often and avoid the 3 true outcomes where the outcome of the at-bat does not depend on any kind of defensive play, and those are a walk, a strikeout, and a home run.
Seeing a lot of all 3 of those.
Full count on Descalso, 3-2. Fastball in, ball 4. There's another one. Hudson has walked 2 of the 3 he's faced, and here comes Chris Owings. What do you attribute, or to what do you attribute that stat, which would not be great for baseball, frankly?
Well, I mean, my knee-jerk reaction is to say it's so many hitters trying to hit home runs, changing their swings, altering their swing path, and not having a 2-strike adjustment. Everybody's still trying to hit home runs even in 2-strike counts. Yeah, it used to be you were expected to choke up on the bat a little bit, crowd the plate a little bit, and just try to put the ball in play with 2 strikes. But as we've seen on a daily basis, most guys in the lineup with 2 strikes, they're still trying to whirly bird.
Well, how much of it is the managers and the front offices who say, you know, we'll live with the 200 strikeouts if you're going to hit 35, 40 home runs? Yeah. There's Logan Forsythe and Matt Kemp. I mean, you could look back at some of the old numbers, you know, DiMaggio, and go back. I mean, you might have a guy strike out 20 times in a year.
Yeah. And felt bad about all 20 of them.
Because that was mortifying, right?
Yeah.
That was the ultimate embarrassment to strike out. Now it's just kind of all right.
Not unusual, strike out 20 times in a week.
That's headed for radio. Oh, it's off the Gubna. That one almost hit the moral compass. Mike Farron bounced by the Gubna, and Tom Candiotti with a tremendous catch in the radio booth just to our right.
Yeah, that was a bad bounce there off one of the TV monitors over in the writers section, and it ricocheted into the radio booth. I think everybody over there touched it for at least a second.
Except Leo Gilmartin, who's over there supervising. 0-2. Chris getting the start at second base tonight. Ketel Marte the night off. They're trying to get Co's bat in there. Was 2 for 11 on the last road trip. A couple of doubles and RBIs. But he'll be busy with all these Dodger lefties coming up next 3 games. Taylor at shortstop. Utley gets 1, and that's it. Nick Ahmed is a triple shy of the cycle. He is 3 for 3. It started in the second inning. Opposite field RBI single. And then a home run to center in the 4th. He's using the whole field here. This one to left, a double.
It makes it tough to defend a guy like that that'll hit the ball from foul line to foul line with authority.
So here's Nick, 3 for 3. He's got Owings at first base and 1 out. Nick has now hit safely in 5 straight games and 6 of 7, including 3 home runs over that stretch. Fastball away from Daniel Hudson, and it's 1-0.
Yeah, Nick has been 1 hit shy of the cycle 2 times in his career. Back in the 2015 season against these Dodgers, he was a triple short of the cycle. And in 2016 against the Marlins, he was just a home run short of the cycle.
Well, he had 2 big hits late in Saturday's game at Washington. He had 3 hits yesterday. He's got 3 more hits tonight. So they've been coming in bunches for Nick here this weekend. Good slider from Huddy, kept it down 1-1.
I think that's always been a key pitch for Daniel Hudson. We talked about his fastball velocity. He can still rush it up there, but that slider just has not consistently been there for him for any stretch of time.
Dodger bullpen. Josh Fields, the right-hander. Daniel Hudson now in his 9th major league season. Just turned 31 years old in March. Another good slider. 1-2.
Now that one was good because it actually backed up a little bit. Nick was expecting it to work its way away from him, and instead it broke straight down, stayed on the inside part of the plate for a called strike.
Daniel Hudson, 6 years as a Diamondback. That includes the 2011 team when he made 33 starts and was a 16-game winner for the D-backs. One and two on Nick Ahmed. Ahmed sends it out to Peterson in left. Two down for Jeff Mathis.
Catcher, Jeff Mathis.
Mathis single in the 4th. He's 1 for 3. D-backs have out-hit the Dodgers 11-5. They lead at 5-3. They've left 8 on base. Dodgers have stranded 4. Another slider from Hudson, 0-1. Pitcher spot is due up next. Alex Avila in the on-deck circle. Should Mathis reach? Dave McKay coaching at first. Andrew Chafin joining Archie Bradley in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Archie's been ready for a while now. Chafin was throwing earlier in the ball game. Popped up foul ground first base side near the screen and out of play. Somebody lost a beverage.
There's more where that came from.
First of 4 D-backs and Dodgers. Tomorrow night, Matt Cook and Clayton Kershaw. Zach Godley, Hyunjin Ryu Wednesday night. Thursday afternoon, Patrick Corbin versus Alex Wood. Get your tickets, dbacks.com. And then the Astros come in for 3 games starting on Friday. That series finale Thursday is a day game. Get you a matinee price on your ticket. And after that, a chance to see the World Series champs. There's Cingrani, who's been battling a dead arm scenario, the left-hander. 1-2. Mathis bangs it to center, and Hernandez has to play it on a hop. And Avila will hit with 2 on and 2 outs.
Second into the ball game for Jeff Mathis. You see the proper protocol for inserting a pinch hitter into the ball game. Get the umpire's attention. You point at the hitter making his way into the batter's box. Only then is he officially in the game.
And once that happens, Dave Roberts comes out to get his left-hander. Back after this. Cinco de Mayo only a few days away. Be here this Saturday, fans, with the D-backs take on the World Series champs. The Houston Astros will be here. And before the 5 o'clock matchup, head over to the free D-backs Fiesta. You'll enjoy live music, a salsa tasting, beer and margarita garden, and a whole lot more. Visit dbacks.com/Cinco. New pitcher for LA, the left-hander Tony Cingrani, who has struggled an ERA over 6.5 in 13 appearances. Alex Avila is the pinch hitter for the D-backs. 2 on and 2 out. Alex batting .174, a pair of homers. 4 plate appearances as a pinch hitter this year. He's 1 for 2 with a pair of walks. There's the defensive alignment against him. Taylor, the shortstop, right behind Owings, who's at second. Bellinger behind Mathis at first. Slider rolls away in the dirt. 1-1.
Cingrani may have a lofty ERA, but 17 strikeouts against only 1 walk. He's averaging almost 2 punch-outs per inning.
He's been dealing with a dead arm. He was held out of their doubleheader Saturday in San Francisco. Just got fatigue in his arm, something that happens during spring training a lot. He really had a rough time Friday against the Giants. Well, he throws a slider in there, and he's ahead 1 ball and 2 strikes. Alex lays off a fastball up, and he's even 2-2. Peralta would be next. Fastball away, and it's full 3-2. Alex 0 for 5 versus left-hand pitchers this year. He has drawn 3 walks against lefties. Owings at second and Mathis at first. 2 outs, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here go the runners. And that's ball 4. They miss with a fastball. They're loaded for Peralta. David is 0 for 2. He's walked twice, once intentionally. Two outs, bases full of D-backs. Ryan DePanfilo running out to have a look. Oh no. Holding his right wrist. Those hands got out over the plate. The baseball found it.
If there is a fortunate thing about it, it looks like it was more of a glancing blow. The ones that really hurt are the ones that hit and drop straight down. You absorb all that energy into your body part that got hit by the pitch.
More on the hand, it looks like, than the wrist. This will force in a run at 6-3, but the concern is David Peralta, who will leave the ball game. I think he's trying to campaign Torrey to let him stay in there.
We could see Devin Marrero come into this ball game and send Daniel Descalso or Chris Owings out to the outfield.
Torrey Lovello checking in with Jerry Lane here.
Looks like Devin Marrero with a helmet on.
So Owings comes in from third. It's 6-3. The bases are still loaded.
Pitch running for David Peralta. Number 10, Devin Marrero.
And Marrero will run for Peralta at first.
Right field, Dyson.
Dyson was up with the bases loaded in the fourth and hit a pop foul to third to end the inning. Off the glove of Cingrani, deflects it to Taylor at shortstop, high throw, and Dyson collides with Bellinger. And now Dyson's down. Ryan DePanfilo right back out there. Here's a look.
Deflected off Cingrani. Taylor got to it with the backhand. The long throw pulls Bellinger off, and then his body's colliding over there at first base.
Mathis scored from third to make it 7-3. We'll check to see if Dyson is okay. That was headed right up the middle into center field. Cingrani knocked it right to shortstop. And now the Beat LA chant is in full force at Chase Field.
Taylor's throw is high. Bellinger has to come off the bag to get the throw. It tries to come down with the tag, and as he did, his right foot crossed the baseline and made contact with Gerard Dyson.
Well, fortunately, Dyson is able to stay in there. They call it an error on the shortstop Taylor on the throw. And here's Goldie with the bases full and 2 outs. Avila's at third. Marrero is at second, and Dyson at first. Fastball is there for strike one. Goldie has singled and walked tonight. He's 1 for 3. Oh, and 2. Andrew Chafin. Archie Bradley had been warming up and was ready to go, but Archie may sit down now with a 4-run lead.
Well, you've got the left-handed hitting Chase Utley, the switch hitter Grandal that you'd prefer to have up there as a righty, then Bellinger and Peterson.
Goldie strikes out. They leave him loaded, but they get 2. 7-3 as we head to the 8th. Diamondbacks lead this one 7-3. Your pitching matchup right there. Tomorrow, what's next? Brought to you by CenturyLink. Clayton Kershaw and Matt Cook. They have the same number of wins, and Matt Cook has a better ERA. Game 2 of 4 tomorrow. D-backs live pregame show comes your way at 6 o'clock on Fox Sports Arizona. All kinds of changes out there. Let's start on the mound. Here's the sheriff, the left-hander Andrew Chafin, with an ERA of exactly 1 in 11 appearances. So Peralta's had to leave the game. Hit on the hand by a pitch from Cindrani. Devin Marrero came on to run for him. Marrero will check in at third and take over for Daniel Descalso. Descalso moved to second, replacing Chris Owings, and Owings is out in right field replacing Peralta.
You know, one thing, this move obviously forced because of the injury to David Peralta, but the defense has not been affected whatsoever.
Yeah, you're right. Austin Barnes will hit for Chase Utley. They get the right-hand bat in there against the lefty Chafin. Barnes hitting 190. 3 for 10 with an RBI as a pinch hitter this year, all singles. And as soon as we get any kind of word on David Peralta's condition, we'll pass it along to you. If not, we'll hear from Troy Lovello on the post-game show. Just lost Robbie Ray yesterday in Washington, D.C. And now tonight, back home, David Peralta hit on the hand and had to leave the ball game. Two and 2 on Austin Barnes. Barnes figures to stay in the game and take over at second for Utley. Grandal on deck. He's got 2 hits tonight.
That slider caught him on the back foot right there. Hit by pitch for Austin Barnes to start this inning.
So Grandal will turn around and bat right-handed against the lefty Chafin. He doubled in the 4th, had an RBI single, and scored in the 6th. You can challenge hit by pitch. Torey Lovullo is having Alan Campbell take a look in the video room on the phone with Jerry Narin. You're only supposed to get 10 seconds to decide, so the pressure is really on AC. And Torey will challenge that hit by pitch. Same thing happened with the Yasmani Grandal in the 1st inning. When a ball appeared to hit the knob of his bat, it was ruled a hit by pitch. Nothing came of it. They didn't challenge that one. They will challenge this one. There's only one guy that knows for sure, and he's standing at first base.
Yeah.
No, you can't tell definitively from that angle. How about this one? A lot of dirt flew up. It sure didn't look like it hit him.
And just by the way, Barnes started down the first baseline, kind of looking over his shoulder at Jerry Lane to see what he was going to call. I mean, if you get hit, you know you're hit, and you just go on down to first base. You don't wait to hear the call from the umpire.
They're going to put him at first.
I think it might have been the front foot that Barnes possibly got hit.
The batter was hit by the pitch.
So a hit by pitch. Barnes at first, no outs. Grandal the hitter. Didn't take him very long anyway. Even from the right side, you have to be careful with Grandal. The left side is very much his power side, but he's got 9 home runs here at Chase Field in his career.
In this season, coming into tonight, he was a .321 hitter from the right side of the plate, but as you said, all his power comes from the left side.
All 4 home runs this year coming as a left-hand batter. There's his strike, and it's 1-1. Slider from Chafin, a wild swing from Grandal, and it's 1-2. Left-hand hitting Cody Bellinger is on deck. Yasiel Puig on the DL now with a hip pointer and a sore foot. No Forsythe, no Puig, no Seager, no Turner. The Dodgers are black and blue. That's belted down the line and fair. It's headed for the corner. Dyson picks it up out there. And it's a hit by a pitch and a double to start off the LA 8th.
Another slider. That one didn't get in far enough. Grandal's able just to keep it fair down that left field corner.
He's 3 for 3 tonight. And now it's Bellinger, who's 0 for 3. Struck out twice against Greinke. Mike Butcher to the mound. Well, we've got some big left-hand bats coming up. Got the right guy in there in Chafin. Archie Bradley is starting to get it cranked up again. Bellinger and Peterson, the next 2 scheduled Dodger hitters.
I think part of this meeting on the mound is to talk about being very careful with breaking balls to Cody Bellinger. I mentioned it earlier in the ball game. He can occasionally have a really long swing, and he can even lengthen it out longer if he reads off-speed pitch in the strike zone. We saw the Astros last year in the World Series. Hard up and in, soft low and away is usually the formula to get Bellinger out.
Barnes is at third, Grandal at second. Shift is on for the D-backs. Checks a swing and rolls away. Barnes stays put. Bellinger hitting nearly .340 against right-hand pitchers this year, but his progress versus lefties has been slow and even .200. Last year, Bellinger as a rookie hit .271 versus lefties with a dozen home runs, but he's not had the same luck this year against left-handers. Another slider.
And another great job by Jeff Mathis keeping that ball in front with a runner at third.
One ball and one strike to Cody Bellinger. 2 on and no outs. Sticking with that slider. Bellinger is just completely upright when he's in the batter's box. He is straight as a string. I always told you to stand up straight when you were a kid.
That backside really breaks down, however, when he swings to get that uppercut lift he's looking for.
Fastball got away from Chafin. He's behind 3-1 with Peterson on deck. There's that big back leg swing you just mentioned. Got the breaking ball again.
Matt Kemp with a helmet on in the Dodger dugout.
Archie Bradley is ready in the bullpen. Full count, 3-2. George Lombard at first. He loses Bellinger here with ball 4. He'll have the tying run at the plate. Popped him up. Foul ground. Goldie in front of the LA dugout. Bellinger 0 for 4. Here comes Jock Peterson.
Left fielder, Jock Peterson.
Peterson tripled down the right field line his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Pitcher spot is behind him, and Kemp is in the on-deck circle.
It was a big out to get right there. Bellinger was 5 for his last 14 with runners in scoring position. A couple of extra base hits.
Bradley is ready. This figures to be Chafin's last hitter.
And another big out to get right here. Jock Peterson 5 for his last 7 with runners in scoring position.
Peterson's got 6 RBIs in his last 5 games. That was coming into tonight before his RBI triple his last time up. Fastball's a strike, and the Sheriff is ahead 0-1. Peterson's going to need a new pair of pants after this one. Got a wardrobe malfunction going on back there.
Yeah, certain parts of the uniform are reinforced. You can see the knee has a little extra patch because he slides. Everybody slides, and their knee hits the ground hard. But he's going to need a new pair tomorrow.
1-1. Went with another fastball that missed for Jerry Lane. Slider up and in. 2 balls and 1 strike. Kemp ready to hit for the pitcher. Bradley ready in the bullpen. Center field, Pollock backing up near the track. Barnes coming home with a 4th Dodger run. Grandal moves up to 3rd. Wait for the announcement for Kemp.
Hitting for Tony Cingrani, number 27, Matt Kemp.
Now Kemp is officially in the game. Torey Lovullo waits for that. He's got his right-hander ready. They're going to bring in the beard. D-backs and Dodgers back after this. Archie Bradley is in the ballgame. Archie's 15th appearance of the year, a 1.76 ERA. He worked both Friday and Saturday in Washington, D.C. He's on to face Matt Kemp with 2 outs and Yasmani Grandal at 3rd. Kemp hitting .310 with 4 home runs this year. He's hit safely in 5 of his last 7 games. He's missed some time recently with left quadriceps tightness. Grandal's at third. A run is home. Dodgers with 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, and 1 in the 8th. Fastball up. Archie, when we saw him over the weekend in Nats Park, was in here it is, hit it mode. Even with Bryce Harper, came on and just blew him away with fastballs.
On the season, Archie's thrown his fastball 82% of the time.
That number's going up.
Yeah, so far 100% of the time tonight.
Oh, and 2 on Matt Kemp. I asked Archie, what's the code for the red glove? When do you decide red glove or no? He says, I just kind of feel it. There's no rhyme or reason. Trying to put Kemp in the red right here. Just got a piece at 95. That red glove kind of comes and goes. Kike Hernandez on deck. One and 2. 96.
Started at the top of the zone, gradually working his way down to the knees, all of them mid-90s.
The knuckle curveballs have been few and far between lately. Straight heat. Might have one coming here.
Yeah.
1 and 2 to Matt Kemp. Tried the curveball. Good at bat by Kemp. He's fouled off some hard fastballs. Got a piece of that knuckle curve to stay alive.
And back to the fastball.
That's a base hit. Grandal scores at 7-5.
Matt Kemp showing a much quicker swing this season than we've seen for a while from him. That was a really good battling at bat against the guy that has plus stuff out there on the mound. Fouled off a lot of mid-90s fastballs, fouled off a curveball, and then ultimately drives a fastball up the middle for an RBI hit.
Well, here's Kike Hernandez, tying run at the plate, 2 outs in the 8th. He's 0 for 3. That one off Mathis. Hernandez hitless in 7 at bats with 4 strikeouts in the Dodgers series here at Chase Field earlier this month. That's been a strike all day for Jerry Lane. It's 0-2. Lays off a fastball upstairs. Hernandez, a slow start at the plate this year, but he's picked up the pace lately. Hitting .370 in his last 10 games, including 2 homers. Max Muncy would be next. That's out of play. He didn't go. Greg Gibson at first. 2-2 on Kike Hernandez, the Dodgers center fielder. It's full. Muncy, the on-deck hitter, homered in his last at bat. Three balls and 2 strikes to Kike Hernandez. There goes Kemp from first. Popped it up. Mathis has a look. Dodgers get 2. It's 7-5 as we head to the home half of the 8th inning at Chase Field.
As we get ready for Diamondbacks Live presented by CenturyLink, our post-game show. Well, Gracie, this game, I love how the D-backs kind of jumped on Ross Stripling early. It was kind of a bullpen game for the Dodgers, but now they've clawed their way back in it a little bit.
They have. It was a little bit of nervous time there for Archie Bradley and the rest of the bullpen there in the 8th.
Yeah, no question. Much more coming up, of course, on the post-game. Gracie will take a closer look at Zack Greinke's outstanding start, and if there's news on David Peralta and that pitch that hit him in the hand, we'll have that news as well, guys.
Thanks, guys. Here's the right-hander Josh Fields. 12 1/3 this year. He's given up 2 runs and has 14 strikeouts. A.J. Pollock, who was homered twice tonight, leads off the home half of the 8th. D-backs have out-hit L.A. 12-7. They lead at 7-5. Boy, A.J. 7 hits, 5 RBIs on the last road trip. A pair of solo homers here tonight. Padres have come back in San Francisco. They now lead the Giants 5-3. They're in the 8th inning. Here's a look at the defense. Peterson has moved into center field. And Matt Kempson left. Kike Hernandez comes out of the ball game. Austin Barnes is the new second baseman.
Now the Dodgers are carrying a 13-man pitching staff, so only 4 players available off the bench, and they've all been used.
3-0 fastballs the strike. Descalso on deck. AJ belts one to center field. It's gone. His first career 3-home run game. AJ Pollock.
Is he locked in right now? You get the feeling if he had 10 at-bats in this game, he'd hit 8 home runs. Just barreled it up out in front of home plate. A fastball from Josh Fields. That went right out the tunnel up there.
Descalso. First pitch swinging, slices one over shortstop. Long run for Taylor, who tracks it down. AJ Pollock now with 9 home runs on the year. 3 solo homers here tonight. Checking in with assistant hitting coach Tim Laker, who gets a gold star.
Good coaching.
Yeah, here's Chris Owings. Brad Boxberger starts to warm up in the D-backs bullpen. CO tonight 0 for 4. Valera in right field. 2 outs.
More than likely the last chance for Nick to hit a triple to complete the cycle. RBI single in the second, a solo home run in the 4th, double in the 5th inning. He did fly out to left field in his last at bat.
4 home runs by the D-backs tonight, all solo shots. David Peralta's already been hit on the hand by a fastball up and in, and now Ahmed hits the deck.
Yeah, we saw Josh Fields staring in as Nick called a late timeout on the pitch before, and then Fields comes right back with a chin high fastball inside. Possibly a purpose pitch right there.
Goes to a curveball up there. 1-2. Dodgers in the ninth inning will have Muncy, Valera, and Taylor due up 8, 9, and 1. Boxberger ready in the bullpen. That's how the Beard started, a challenge from Robbie Ray last year in spring training.
Thought you were going to say earlier this afternoon.
Yeah, it may be. But now it's become a thing, to say the least.
Yes, it has.
Lifted out to Valera in right field. Well, here we go. 8-5 D-backs. We hit the ninth. Our Gila River game summary. An eventful night here. The first of four, the D-backs and the Dodgers. A.J. Pollock's first career 3-homer game. Nick Ahmed has 3 hits, including a home run. And as we hit the ninth inning, the D-backs have an 8-5 lead. And here's the closer, Brad Boxberger, who was busy in Washington, D.C. over the weekend, where he got saves numbers 7 and 8 Friday and Saturday. Max Muncy, Breivik Valera, and Chris Taylor, the scheduled hitters in the LA ninth inning, 8, 9, and 1. Muncy homered his last time up off Yoshi Hirano. Shift is on, and that's fouled away. It's 0-1. Dodgers 3 under 500 at 12-15 start to the year. They have lost 5 of their last 6. There's the shift. Boxberger was very efficient Friday against the Nationals in Washington. Save number 7 on 10 pitches. Worked a lot harder Saturday. That one rolls foul. He came on in the 10th inning at Nats Park and needed 20 pitches. He had 2 walks in that appearance, but got his 8th save. D-backs, if they can hang on, will improve to 20-8 on the year, and they'll have an 8-game margin over LA in the National League West. They'll improve to 6-1 versus Dave Roberts' ball club this year. Called strike 3. It's been that way all night long for Bellinger and the Dodgers, with Jerry Lane behind the plate. It's not a terrible pitch.
Just below the bottom of the zone there. Had some late movement.
Ravik Valera backs up Goldie at first. He's got it. 2 down. Mark Grace, Jody Jackson standing by. D-backs Live, the post-game show, brought to you by CenturyLink, is next. And Chris Taylor, the last man standing for the Dodgers. Taylor doubled and scored in the 6th inning. 1 for 4. In the air, right center field. Ball game. There it is. Box them up. Brad Boxberger gets the save. The D-backs get the win, and after losing yesterday in Washington, D.C., they win here. And for the first time in franchise history, the D-backs have gone a calendar month without losing back-to-back games.
That's a pretty good formula. Diamondbacks had it rolling tonight. Some big offense from A.J. Pollock, Nick Ahmed. Great job by Zach Greinke. Changed his game plan against the Dodgers tonight, and it worked effectively.
The concern is for David Peralta, who was hit on the hand by a pitch and had to leave the ball game. Much more from Chase Field after this. D-backs win the opener 8-5.